Welcome to Edutainment for Us. Thank you so much for a new day. This is Sunday, 23rd November 2025. So let's get into our analysis for political situation around the world. I promised to talk about Zambia and South Africa. There was some one issue as well as Equatorial Guinea. I hope I'll get time to do so, because I know people are waiting for that. So thank you so much for keeping it real and watching our reactions every day. So today I come with the first one. Yesterday I was only able to do two, and I didn't manage to go to Live Saga and do a video. But I hope today I'll be commentating for that. So maybe for that video on Equatorial Guinea, Zambia and South Africa, I'll actually post it on Live Saga TV. So I really appreciate for those of you who are watching even my vlogs, cooking vlogs, our life vlogs, and many others, and of course others coming on the way. So, and political reactions too. But most of those who are watching political reaction, I don't know, they have not subscribed to the channel, and that makes our algorithm look like it's a bit low when it's supposed to be higher. So thank you so much for coming in the house. And of course today, the president of Kenya, RUTO, is able to commit, or rather meet Museveni with a heart almost like Museveni's in his country. And what they are doing is they are opening Devki mega steel. Now, I don't know why the CEO of that group actually gave such extreme statements that do not meet the Constitution of Kenya, because I believe a CEO of a company is supposed to be aware about the Constitution of a nation before uttering certain statements. Now, this is one, and not the first time we are hearing such statements. Of course, we had another one. It was a company in Kuria or something there, and we had someone actually uttering the same statement of allowing RUTO to rule forever and ever, amen. Now remember, these CEOs do not understand that the Constitution of Kenya is different from Uganda. And I don't know where he got the guts to stand out in Tororo, just because RUTO is there to open this metal, or rather steel company, and then utter such a statement. Anyway, before we go to that, let's look at President RUTO and Museveni flagging off the groundbreaking for Devki mega steel project. Now, guys, we've had a lot of information surrounding this, and so many people have actually been talking about this company, especially relating to the housing project in Kenya, and saying that the reason as to why the government has been supporting such a project all the time is as a result of the market in a steel market. I don't know. What do you think? You can drop a comment based on what you believe. But meanwhile, let's get to see what is happening right in Uganda as President RUTO gets to be there. Here we are. Jahase on Freud.
want to do it for my people. I don't mind whether it will be liked or not, but I must look after of my citizen who is less fortunate. I don't want to say much, but I must say he has kept our currency for the longest period stable, and that gives the confidence on the business, and that is called the leadership. The inflation in Kenya was over 9%, 10%. It has come down to 4% today. It is not a magic. A leader is not expert in everything, but he hires the experts and take the correct decision at the correct time. I salute him because foreign direct investment in the country have tripled in 3 years' time.
All right, guys. So, just say on Froy, welcome. Thank you so much for showing up here. I appreciate. And everybody else in the house, thank you so much for showing up. Now, you can see this is the CEO, Narendra Raval, who is the CEO of Devki Group, that actually is a steel project company in Uganda. But remember, our president has been linked directly to steel companies, so possibly this is one of his own that he has actually gone to Uganda to dress up. Now, recently, of course, we had a lot of media information about Museveni, and of course, it was just not media information. While at Mbale Lodge, we saw Museveni talking about Indian Ocean and the fact that if they don't sort out the differences, there might be future wars. And he said that he cannot be landlocked because he's in the first floor. He cannot be landlocked and avoid using the ocean. And he actually came up suggesting that East Africa should collaborate to even have one army and all those. And we had a lot of things last week and the other one. And that was just after Bobby Njagi and Olo Nicholas had been set free. However, our president never talked about anything of that sort. Regardless of all those that were going on in the media, what Museveni said, we never saw anything coming out from RUTO. Of course, this might hint to you that they know each other. And that is why we have seen today President RUTO in Kampala opening up this project on Devki Group, a steel project company. And here is what happened. Now the CEO comes out and salutes our president, saying that indeed the direct investment has actually increased, that the inflation has gone low. Of course, all of us who know, and from the recent statistics, if you compare what NTV did and what Citizen did, you know very well that the figures are for the rich. But when it comes to the common citizens, they still can't really feel the economic improvement at all, because people are still struggling a lot, even to sell their simple products or rather get what they want. It is a serious hassle for them. So anyway, let's see what CEO Narendra Raval speaks. And if you listen to his statements, this is not the first time, and I don't know why CEOs have to speak like this, knowing very well about a given country and what it demands. So let's listen to this, then we'll go to the speech by RUTO in Uganda.
Excellency, congratulations. Again, I will repeat, although Constitution doesn't allow, but I will say you should be there for 20 years. Because we would like, I know last time when I said, likuwa napigwa sana, lakini if you want to remove the unemployment in the country, we need this force and put the things in order in the country.
So did you actually hear his funny statement? He's repeating, of course, he said it last time. And he's repeating it that RUTO should be there for 20 years. Like, seriously? In a constitution where the constitution doesn't allow a president to be there for 20 years, even in America. So how does this Indian guy believe that we can have a president leading for 20 years? Even if he has some advantages, 1 or 2, maybe 10 or 8 of them are negative for the citizens. And we are going to see it from what Moses Kuria shared later on. Anyway, let's hear more.
People were living and is living in shanties. The first person who noticed that my people are living in the shanties and I live in a good house, I want to give them the decent housing. That is the President William Ruto has started. It is a bitter truth. Everybody.
It's unfortunate that Narendra tried to say so, but our president himself recently said that the housing project started long ago. So how then does he qualify his statement by saying that the first person to realize citizens are staying in shanty houses is Ruto? In fact, during the Kibaki situation, I remember there were some houses which were done. I also remember during Uhuru time, there were some houses which were started somehow, even though the process was not the forced tax that we have had to experience painfully in our pay slips. Anyway, let's hear more what he says.
But people will be getting a better housing, decent housing, because binadamu ni binadamu, natengenezwa na hiyo same Mungu ile natengeneza mimi na wewe, si ndio? Lazima na kwa aina moja maisha nataka kwa sawa kila watu. Universal health. Yes.
What is he saying? What exactly is he saying? I didn't get it. That what? My goodness. I didn't get what this guy said somewhere. But anyway, let's listen to what the president says in this forum. What is this? There's something I want to show.
Because I want to do it for my people. I don't mind. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Your Excellency, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda. Dr. Narendra Raval Guru, Chairman of Devki Group of Companies. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, our brothers and sisters, the great people of Uganda, Hamjambo. Yoga Osi Kere Ingalete Osi Emuria Koliai. It is my singular honor to preside over the launch, together with my brother, my elder brother, President Museveni, on the launch of the vertical integrated steel industry project here in Tororo, eastern Uganda. We convene here not just to convene a factory or commission a factory, but we usher in a new auspicious chapter in Africa's industrialization ambition. This project is the outcome of visionary leadership, daring entrepreneurship, and enduring partnership between the private sector and our two governments. It reflects a collective commitment to sustainable development, regional integration, and the pursuit of transformative impact for our present and future generations.
All right, guys. So you actually realize with that Kenya is cooperating in instituting steel company. All right. So they are talking about regional integration, transformation, daring investment, and cooperating to ensure that there is progress. I would actually wish to understand also how maybe the profits from this company would benefit Kenyans. and how this also can lead to a cheaper access to metals, because one of the things that is very expensive in a nation if you are trying construction is metals. Metals are very expensive, and therefore if only I would understand how this company would, Devki Metal Steel, would actually enhance affordability in this company, then I would actually appreciate. Even if there is anything else that is crude, I would actually maybe say that it's okay as long as the prices of metals are going to be affordable for us, no problem. But then let me listen and see what our president tells us. Because at first he's just praising the integration and partnership and ability to have transformative leadership, and he's praising his elder elder brother Museveni. I was like, this is more like a father. Anyway, let's listen to this.
Your Excellency, I take this opportunity to congratulate you on this remarkable milestone and to commend your steadfast commitment to industrialization and championing transformative investments. The testimony by the chair of Devki Group of Companies of your commitment, of your encouragement, of your foresight on the establishment of this investment is a clear testimony of your leadership in our region. Mr. President, I recall with profound appreciation the discussion we have held on this project since its inception, and most recently during your official visit to Kenya in July this year. In the spirit of our enduring friendship and brotherhood, we reaffirmed our shared commitment to bringing into fruition and to jointly presiding over its commissioning that we do here today. I equally commend my brother and friend, His Excellency Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda, whose enduring advocacy for regional integration within the East African community has provided the enabling environment for projects like this one to thrive. And as Ru has said, there is a joint commitment by the government of Kenya, the government of Uganda, and Rwanda to continuously encourage investment.
All right. So there is a regional integration in projects between Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda. Now mark this. We don't see Tanzania in the picture. So does it mean that Samia Suluhu has decided not to play part of the integration? Because I would expect that now that it's East Africa, we would see Tanzania there also. All right. So I'm just asking myself a lot of questions, because the earlier East Africa used to be Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya. Then Rwanda was added plus more. But it's unfortunate that Tanzania has been left out of this. Is it out of the doing of Samia Suluhu, or did the rest of the leaders feel she is not able to collaborate with them in this? Or did Samia feel like if she collaborates with Kenya, she would lose, or Uganda, and all that? So these are the questions I'm trying to ask myself, because of the, the focus that we have seen, or rather the communication that the CEO and also the president of Kenya is trying to share here. So let's hear more.
That are transnational and that are regional, like this one. As a region and a community, we recognize that the sum of our collective strength far exceeds the power of an individual nation. It is this shared understanding that anchors our commitment to our cooperation in the East African community. Kenya's support for this project reflects its broader ambition to anchor regional industrial integration within the framework of the East African community. This commitment underpins Kenya's vision of a and coordinated industrial policies drive sustainable growth and the transformation of our region. By fostering cross-border collaboration in strategic sectors such as steel manufacturing, Kenya seeks to enhance regional sufficiency, promote intra-Africa trade, and strengthen the foundation for collective prosperity under the East Africa industrialization strategy. This project will provide jobs for our young people, build new value chains for small and medium enterprises, and create opportunities that extend far beyond Uganda's borders. Already, the Tororo facility currently employs more than 400 workers, with plans to increase workforce within the company to 20,000 by 2027 across our East African operations. Beyond direct job creation, it will open vast opportunities for companies within the East African community, particularly in transport, in energy, in construction, and service sectors through cross-border supply contracts and strategic joint ventures. I take this opportunity to express Kenya's pride in celebrating the vision and enterprise of Dr. Narendra Raval, a distinguished Kenyan industrialist and investor whose commitment, focus, and determination have been instrumental in bringing this industry to life. You remember, Mr. President, that when I introduced Dr. Guru to you, I told you that he is a man who keeps his word. I have worked with him in Kenya. He has made huge investments in our country. 2 years ago, I opened a factory in West Pokot where he had invested $400 million. I broke ground a year ago in Taita Taveta, the facility where he had invested $150 million US. In January, we will be launching the largest clinker facility in Kitui County in Kenya, which will also have an investment of $370 million. To say that is to tell the people of this great country that in Dr. Narendra Raval, you have a committed East African, a man who is ready to meet his or to match his word with his deed. He is one person I have told the people of Kenya, and I will tell us as East Africans, that we must first and foremost believe in ourselves. Very few people can invest the kind of investment that Raval is putting in our region. It takes a man with commitment. It takes a patriot. It takes a person who understands that this investment goes beyond profits and money. It goes to the bottom of humanity, creating opportunities for work for millions of young people, creating opportunities for enterprises, micro, small, and medium enterprises, transporters, business people working in the cement and steel industry. It supports our transformation agenda in our region.
All right, so the president of Kenya actually gave a very long speech. Maybe we may not finish to analyze the entire one because we have other aspects to talk about. But overall, when you look at his whatever he was sharing, actually, you understand that he's trying to sell his own concepts. Because if you look at Kenya, for example, how far have people developed? For example, so FK says, RUTO stop African's continent. We need military to be presidents like Ibrahim Traore. We have, yeah. Of course, we need presidents like, I saw the other one. Is it the president of Botswana? We need presidents like Traore and the president of Botswana. Actually, they are one of the African presidents who really do what they say. And they actually don't just talk on behalf of themselves, they talk on the behalf of the citizens. Such also are not selfish. You will find that they don't own a lot. However, you look at our president, when you look at the analysis that is going around the world, and of course, the reason why I would actually trust in what other people talk about the president, it doesn't challenge them. There are those people who are saying that now our president owns almost tracts of land almost all over the counties of Kenya. Taita Taveta, of course, I know that one was done. Now we have another, I think in, is it Nakuru? Then he's planning to have so much in Western, including the former company Mumias, the former company Webuye, the former company Nzoia, and many more. So when you look at that, actually, you like, yeah, you are talking about progress and transformation for Kenya, but then, or Africa. But then, why are you being selfish to some level that you understand like there are so many companies, including this steel company, like he owns a percentage in it. You come to furniture company opened recently in Eldoret, he has shares in it. You come to Aramco, an insurance company for agencies that transport people to different nations, he has shares in it. You look at Kenya Pipeline, when they were talking about the sales and all that, their shares in that. You look at NHIF, which is now SHA, their shares in that, and so many others. So there are a lot of questions we as citizens ask around what the president is saying and what he does. Like you look at this company, who told the CEO actually to talk about a president being 20 years as a leader? Even if you are a good leader, should you be there forever? Does it mean that we don't have other people to lead? So it's unfortunate, like the CEO of this company, Devki, during the groundbreaking ceremony, he uttered such a vicious statement that does not go in line with the rest of the Kenyans. Now look at what he's saying, that anyone can have access to Indian Ocean. But there must be agreements. You cannot just say a blanket of access, all right? And when he talks about the fact that they are creating jobs, are these jobs sustainable? And even if they are sustainable, how good are they going to promote the lives of citizens? So let's listen a bit more, then we come to what Moses Kuria shared today.
And I believe that with the kind of support that we are lending, not just Dr. Labraval, but investors, indigenous trade in its launch is not just a Ugandan facility. It is an East African facility. The steel that is going to come from here, and we appreciate that God has given us resources, and Uganda happens to have the best steel or iron ore reserves. It is therefore befitting that this factory is established here, not just to serve Uganda, but to serve Kenya, East Africa, and the region at large. We currently import in Kenya close to $850 million of steel from the rest of the world. We would be very happy that that $850 million would be in our region if this factory was to supply steel to Kenya. And I am confident.
So from his statement, actually, he's not sure that we are going to get steel from Uganda, because he says if it would. The use of would here. Then he still says that it would. So which means he's just, there's no agreement so far. And then, if it is now being imported from Uganda, why would the price be the same? Because I would expect if they have been importing from elsewhere distant, then when it comes to Uganda, it will be a bit cheaper, right? But the mathematics right here don't add up for me. But anyway, we are waiting and hoping for the best. But how I wish actually Africa would have the presidents like Traore and the president of Botswana. I heard him talk recently when he was talking about how to save the economy, and it was making sense to me. And that is the way to go, because you look at presidents who actually the dressing alone is millions, and then they are addressing citizens who don't have anything, and they are encouraging them that there is a light ahead of the tunnel. Like, really? Anyway, we want to finish listening to the president because he gave a very long speech, and we want to listen to Yoweri Museveni as well a little bit. Then we go to Moses Kuria.
Made the strategic decision to create a highway and dual that road so that we can facilitate faster movement of goods, people, and services between Kenya, Uganda, and the rest of the East African hinterland.
Which are this?
And so I want to assure you that we are going to work together, and I know people in the journalist space, and it is good I speak about it here, tried to create an impression that Uganda had said something to the effect that they need to access the sea by all means. Let me assure the naysayers that Uganda and Kenya are brothers and sisters, and we do not have time for negative engagement.
The president is so funny. The president says that he does not have time for negative engagement. And the naysayers. Was it not Yoweri Museveni who said the statement of invading Indian Ocean? Was it not General Muhoozi who also posted? So who are the negative naysayers here? Is it Muhoozi or is it the journalists? I don't think the journalists have any problem by just repeating a statement which the president of Uganda has said or the Sun has said. So I don't know whether our president of Kenya, RUTO, is trying to avoid that statement or what exactly is trying to happen here when he says naysayers. Who are naysayers? Because I don't see any naysayers in the entire bracket. What I see is that journalists just say what has happened. Actually, that is what journalists say. And Muhoozi had posted, then the father had said in an interview, live interview at Mbale Lodge. So who is a naysayer here? He does not have time for negative engagement. Really? All right. All right, your brothers and sisters.
Uganda is assured of the access to the sea through Kenya. And that is why we are not only extending the pipeline, we are also extending the road, and we are also extending the railway, because we believe that this region needs to move as one. For those who want to engage us in negative talk, we want to tell them, please give us a break. We do not have
a break, you
time
have
for
it.
negative talk. We have time for progress. We want to work together to create jobs. We want to work together to attract investment. We want to work together to do investments like the one I see here today, the ones we are doing in Kenya and doing in the rest of this region. We want to connect this region so that we can share prosperity, because poverty cannot be shared. I reiterate Kenya's readiness to continue working hand in hand with Uganda, Rwanda, and all our East African partners to transform today's milestone into tomorrow's prosperity. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for inviting me.
So, actually, when I listened to that, I was like, President Ruto, are you trying to say when the two people who came to Uganda were naysayers? So, was Nicholas Olo and, Bob an naysayer. So they were negative energies. That's why you are not ready to engage in the negative engagement. Do you mean that recently when Museveni gave that statement that if we don't allow ourselves to actually have easy access of Uganda to the Indian Ocean, then that will create room for wars? And he said in a setting where he's being interviewed, Muhoozi also posted a statement saying that he has to get access to the Indian Ocean. Who are the naysayers here? Now, when we get back to Kenya actually and see what people said, people are just trying to talk what has already been said. And journalists went around trying to ask what is happening. Now, Bob Njagi and Olo also shared, indicating that, in fact, the treatment of people in Kenya sometimes when they're abducted is worse than what happened in Uganda. So if there is no one, a serious citizen, who will not like this integration or working together, but then how are you working together? If working together means sometimes molesting the citizens or journalists, that is wrong, because if you are doing right, then you shouldn't be scared about what somebody says out there. There is nothing much they'll sell. If they are saying something that is just a naysay statement, naysay cannot go far. But when you understand they're giving some information that is worth, then it's time to listen and work out on that. Not just dismissing it. So guys, as we continue watching, please like the video and also subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate that. As we keep updating you on the real-time news in Kenya and across Africa, among other nations. So let's see what Museveni said. And then after that, we can get to understand what Moses Kuria also shared elsewhere.
So, those fellows had agreed with an Indian company to sell Obtare to India. And then when I called them, how much are you going to get? 47 a ton. And how much will this Indian get? That time it was like $900 dollars a ton. And then all the jobs would go. You would lose money, you would lose jobs. So what we are doing here is extending what I have done in the whole sector of minerals. I have banned the export of unprocessed minerals, all of them. Let them stay in the ground. If the present generation are asleep, kama watu wale wamelala, labda huko mbele wengine watakuja ambao wako na macho ya kuona.
So, all right, so you get it here, and I think it's not the first time Museveni is saying this. Museveni says he banned all exportation of, extracted minerals. Now, unfortunately, our president is there, but recently they wanted to sell the minerals that were discovered, gold that was discovered in Kakamega, because according to him, exporting laborers, it's a bit of a golden chance than the gold found in Ikolomani. There is also a lot of minerals in the coast, that is Taita Taveta. And recently there was a discussion around the rare minerals around there. And still they are willing to export the raw ores to other countries. How I wish then Kenya would also adopt the aspect of creating companies in Kenya where they extract this and create products, then now sell or rather export as products, adding value before exportation. Even when it comes to coffee, we should have coffee being actually created or rather manufactured in Kenya, then exported. Instead of now it goes as raw, then we now import again the products. It doesn't add up in the current modern times, right? Yeah, so if our president is saying that our economy has improved, we need to see our own raw materials, because we have extracts, minerals on the coast side, both Kwale, Taita Taveta. We also have some extracts that we have in Uasin Gishu. We have Ikolomani. In fact, there was also discoveries of oil in Turkana and much more. Let us see these products being having industries that produce their products. Now that the CEO of Devki is telling us that the direct investment has attracted a lot of people coming back, and he has also told us that there is addition of value in the money of our own currency. So if that is really a reality, we want to see the mathematics adding up. Anyway, let's finish to listen to Museveni, then we go to Moses Kuria.
I want to congratulate Dr. Guru for helping us fulfill our vision of adding value to this Butare. Mpigie makofi. Congratulate His Excellency President RUTO for encouraging Mr. Guru to come here. The implications of this project. Uganda is now squandering $500 million per year to export flat sheets and the other metals from which we make mabati and make mitayimbwa. Mitayimbwa, Wakenya wanaita mitayimbwa chuma. Chuma.
Mtaimbo ni mtaimbo hata Kenya.
But here chuma is general word for steel, steel,
okay.
For metal. But for the steel bars, we can lend here a word called mitayimbwa. Mitayimbwa. That's what we mean by steel bars. I have already told Mr. Guru. So, these raw materials for those intermediate products for mabati and from Tayimbwa are taking much of the money. The other specialized steel, like the one of the railway and the dams, that one we may not go for because we need to be sure about the demand. But for the mabati and for the Mtayimbwa, we must support Mr. Guru to produce them here. So that, because that's the biggest money that is going, the 500 million. And I hear that East Africa spends $5 billion on steel production.
Okay, so of course Uganda has seen target market in this. You can see that they are hesitant about producing the rest of the products because they are not so sure about the supply. Now let's come back to the politics of Kenya. Of course, you remember very well about Moses Kuria. Moses Kuria one day woke up and wrote a statement saying that he's going away from politics to rest. But has he rested, guys? Has he rested or is he back? And he's coming back to defend GACHAGUA and multipartism, guys. So we want to see what he says here. All right. So he's actually pointing out that IEBC, or maybe the government, they are on a mission to kill multipartism. So he is saying that the attack on leaders from opposition is actually a very wrong move. And actually I support that. Gunism is a very bad culture that is catching up with Kenya in a manner that politicians will be attacked if they go to places. It doesn't look good, right? Yeah, let people sell their policies. If you think they are not worth, they will automatically not be voted for. But why should you actually bring goons to attack them? This doesn't add up. So let's listen to Moses Kuria and what he says here.
Moses Kuria, wewe shida yako ni kwamba huniamini. Kamwambia urafiki ule mzuri ni ule watu wawekeane ka distance kidogo ndio heshima idumu. Na nilikuwa nimeona hatari. Jamani niwaambie, kama ningekuwa chama cha UDA, sahi ningekuwa gavana wa Kiambu. But I stood with my principles. Nilikuwa nimeona hatari hapo mbele. Hao watu ambao wanasema mimi kazungu, hao ndio niliwaambia jamani msiende namna hiyo.
wakamobilize Kiambu mzima 60 MCA candidates against me, 12 MP candidates against me. Hawa kina Senator Kalongo Adhangwa, Women Rep wa Moratha, Governor wa Matangi, against 75 candidates were being funded against me, sababu nimekataa kuingia chama ya UDA. Sahi wanalilia choo. Yule mtu ambaye alikuwa ameona mbele ndio anakuja kumlaumu. The only person who had the right judgment. The right judgment. Mimi nilikuwa nimefanya uamuzi wa kweli. Sahi wanasema sijui kufanya makosa sio makosa, makosa ni kurudia. Hakuna makosa mbaya kama ile ya zamani. Because haina comeback. Na hii yao haina comeback. Laiti wakanisikiliza. Mimi mwenyewe ndio nilisema tusiende harusi na Mercedes ya bwana harusi. Hata tunaenda kuongea mambo ya rorasio na tumebeba na Mercedes ya mwenyewe. Sikutabua toka. Waliambiwa hawakuabua atoke. Sasa wanalia, wanakuja kulaumu yule mtu ambaye alikuwa na maono mazuri. Unakuja kusema sijui chama yangu, sijui ni gani, sijui ni nini, sijui ni hurubaro ya blue. Hapa Embu County tuko na 20 elected MCAs. Tuko na 20 wote. Among them ni mtu anaitwa kutoka hapa Gaturi South. Ni MCA wa chama cha kazi hapa Embu. Yaani hata huna aibu unakuja kusema tuingie chama yako. Na hapa Embu niko na MCA hapa Embu. Who was elected not this year but 3 years ago. Jamani tukue na heshima. Mwisho. Yeah.
So guys, that was Moses Kuria. Moses Kuria actually came up to indicate why he never joined UDS, saying that he saw ahead that there was no light ahead and he decided to remain with his party, and that is why he never made it to be the governor of Kiambu. According to him, the people who are now blaming him currently actually pushed him away and said that he will blame himself. But they are now crying from the toilet. That is the common saying in Kenya to means that they can't have a reverse back. Now he says that the mistakes in past cannot be corrected. And even if they are saying that doing a mistake for the first time is not wrong, he actually blames them for whatever they did because they misled people and now they regret. Now, I was just looking at that and wondering, did Moses Kuria actually retire peacefully? Because we have now seen him, he's speaking for the 3rd time. And whenever he speaks, he's kind of runs away from standing with the government. He stands away from it. And now for the first time, he talked about GACHAGUA and supported that he should go anywhere where he wants. All right? Now he's not speaking like CS Roko, Kindiki, and the rest of them who are saying that GACHAGUA should not step in other places. So we are supposedly seeing that Moses Kuria is finally joining hands with GACHAGUA, even if he's not directly doing so. But anyway, let's continue to listen and see what he says. We have about 12 minutes to go.
Na DP hata haina MC hapa. Imagine. Mwisho tuangalie mambo ya IBC. Mimi kila siku nikiona jambo sio tu hapa. Juzi naona watu wengine wakasema GACHAGUA asikuja hapa. Hata kabla GACHAGUA kusema mimi ndio niliongea. Na nikasema pia IBC shika hao watu. Na nikawekea pressure mpaka wakaitwa na DCI. Sio sababu yangu. Nikasema kama GACHAGUA ameguswa, mimi nimeguswa kwa sababu uchaguzi hawezi kuwa huru wakati wewe mchezaji mmoja ndio unasema nani atakuja kwa mchezo, nani atakuja kwa mchezo. Jana hata mliona kwa mtandao. Na nikapigia madam anaitwa RUTO, commissioner wa uchaguzi electoral operations IBC. Kaambia angalia hii maneno. Nilikuwa hapa 207. Niliona ile Kenya ilipitia. Siwezi kunyamaza na roho yangu haina amani nikisikia mtu anasema GACHAGUA usiende. Jana huko Narok wanatishia watu wasijue watu watoke huko. Leo mmeona what has happened in Chwele. Huko Kabuchai. Mpaka risasi karibu waue natembea. Nitaka kuambia serikali. Na sana hapa nimwambie Rais William Ruto directly. The international community is watching. How we conduct these elections is of interest to the international community. Sasa mnafikiria sababu Suluhu amefanya vile amefanya, atatuweza kuona hiyo ya Tanzania. Jamani, Wakenya si wa Tanzania. Wakenya si wa Tanzania. Msijaribu hapa. It will not be usual. It will not be business as usual in Kenya if you try those monkey games in Kenya. Kenyans' level of tolerance for nonsense is at its lowest. Kenyans cannot tolerate nonsense. Hizo shenanigans ati mnaweza kuiba kura. Jamani, how did UDA come to power? Tulianza huko Juja, by election ya Juja. Mimi nikasimama na chama against Jubilee, ruling government that time. Uhuru Kenyatta was his MP, nilikuwa mbunge yake. Nikamshinda huko. Walikuwa wamesema wataiba wakuiba. Tulikatoka hapo tukaenda Kiambaa. Nika withdraw kadi wangu nikasupport wa UDA ndio tushinde. Mikakati yote ya kulinda kura ni mimi. Hata yule wizitoka mnajua ya kuiba kura ni ile niliwaonyesha. Na mnafikiria mnaweza kunishinda. Huko ni anyoko.
What is Moses Kuria saying here actually? I didn't understand the last bit. When he says that he knows when it comes to rigging, he knows what it means and he can also guard the elections. I'm not so sure about what he said here. Maybe somebody should drop a comment so that I understand. But when you see now Moses Kuria speaking like this, and he had pretended to be retiring from elections, or rather politics, actually when he dropped, we did videos to say that he did not just retire, but there was something, and there was an argument against what we said. It comes to reality that whatever we said was the reality. There was a problem happening in with the president and him. And of course, the other time he tried to tell us that. Now this time, he's not sharing that, but he's directly talking to RUTO about rigging of elections and goonism. Now, goonism is one of the habits that is not very pleasant in our country. It's very displeasing to have goons attacking politicians and all that. And it's a bit unfortunate that is something that is actively happening in our country currently, because when you look at the united opposition, they have not been attacked once or twice. Yeah, it's not once or twice that they have been attacked. And we hope that goonism will stop, because that is one of the habits that actually makes politics a very dirty game. And why should in our current generation believe in goonism? Because if you have the influence, you can actually influence without necessarily having to attack. I don't know if this discussion is over, but I support part of what Moses Kuria said, but what I don't understand is currently what is he?
For the first time. Mimi nilikataa kuvuja chama yangu 2022. Ule mtu anakaa na mimi akaniambia, unajua Moses Kuria, wewe shida yako ni kwamba huniamini. Kamwambia urafiki ule mzuri ni ule watu wawekeane ka distance kidogo ndio heshima idumu.
All right, so from his statement, what he's insinuating possibly is the fact that these movements whereby someone breaks their party and now joins to become part of, like maybe what is happening in the united opposition, or rather what is yet to happen in ODM and UDA. There is danger, because once you break your party, you lose the confidence of the people. And at the end of the day, it is possible that you may never get that image back, because once the citizens have been made to believe that you broke your own party to create another, then it becomes a serious problem. Yeah, and somehow I agree with that, because if you have your own home, why should you go join your home with somebody else to survive? You can actually survive as friends without necessarily breaking your roof, or rather your wall, so that you can join your compound with another person's. And that's exactly what is in politics. Politics becomes sweeter when multipartism is there, but when there is none, then it is a problem. Now, the problem with Africa, we talk about democracy, but when it comes to practicing it, it becomes a failed game. So that is our end of our discussion. Maybe we'll be getting to more later.
Nitafutwa kazi, ukumbuke watu wa mbele hawana kazi. Kwa wale watu ambao walifutwa, wasikumbuke watu wa mbele. Upande mwingine, nilifutwa kazi, so mimi nataka kusema Kwa wale watu wanasema ati nitafutwa kazi, ukumbuke watu wa mbele hawana kazi. Kwa wale watu ambao walifutwa, wasikumbuke watu wa mbele sio judge. Na wao pia walifutwa mbele yako sababu hata wako na kazi. Kwa hiyo hakuna shida. Yeah? So tafadhali tukue sensitive na mambo ya watu. Jambo hili nataka kusema. Tunaambiwa kwamba ati kama sisi, juzi niona kiongozi mwingine amesema kama huko kwa chama yake wewe ni wakasungu. Mimi nataka kusema hivi. Mimi and for the first time nataka kusema hapa, niko hapa Ishiara for the first time. Mimi nilikataa kuvunja chama yangu 2022.
Okay. So that is the political temperature for today. I'll be coming back for another live video, political, then later social, and really appreciative to those who watched our live stream. Bye bye for now. Thank you so much for supporting. Keep subscribing and liking the video.